What's up, YouTube? This is PJ from the High Mountain Homestead. Today I want to go over and show you some of the things I've learned this past month of raising sheep. So I've wanted sheep for a really long time, like years. And I grew up in Southern California where people don't have sheep. Like some people don't have chickens either. They don't have anything. And so I didn't really know what I was getting into, but I knew that I wanted it. And I looked into a lot of different options for sheep. There's so many breeds out there, and not all of them look like the typical Baba black sheep, kind of sheep. And so, fast forward, I got sheep. We got this cool property that's about an acre and a quarter, and about a month ago we got sheep on it. And so what I want to do is talk with you today about some of the things I've learned in the first month of having sheep. So if you're new to this channel, which I know you are because this is my first video, and on that note, please like and subscribe. I want to talk about these guys, these sheep. So I do want to get into what I learned about them. First, let me do a quick intro here. So we'll start with Aries. This is Aries. All these sheep are, I guess, 11 months old, 10 months old. So Aries is my ram right here. Super handsome, good looking ram. This is, I need to see your head. This is Demeter. She should be pregnant. She should be about halfway through her pregnancy right now. And this ewe in the back is Diana. Hey, that was weird. It's like she knew her name. Sheep love hanging out with each other. They are like never apart from one another. And what was also interesting is you can see kind of through the distance over there, my neighbors have a mule and a horse. And before this was all snowed, they let their horse and their mule go out, and my sheep would just chill with them, like on the fence line. Like the horses would kind of reach over and say hello, and the sheep would just chill there. And I thought that was really interesting. It makes sense, right? I mean, sheep are historically prey animals, and knowing that they need to be together makes sense, right? Next thing about sheep, they are always dropping stuff. What do I mean by that? I'm not talking about sticks or leaves. I'm talking about these little guys. Also, I didn't know their poops looked like this. I thought their poops would look more like a cow poop, but these look more like rabbit or deer, which I guess makes sense. Seriously, like every 20 minutes, they're dropping a poo or peeing or something. It's all the time, which is great because my field could use it. All right, next thing that I've learned about these guys, it took them about 2 weeks to warm up to me. And see, right, I promise you they're warmed up to me. No, it's because I'm standing in the doorway. Sheep have a strong flocking mentality, right? Because like I said, they're prey and they want to get out of the way. But before 2 weeks ago, they wouldn't even get this close to me. It took them about 2 weeks to get this friendly with me, and I don't think it's because of my personality. I think it's because I bring them food, I give them water. They just learned who I am. All right, next thing I've learned, the ram is always near his ewes. I guess the technical term is harem, which has other connotations, but the ram is always with his ewes, and he more often than not has his eyes on both of them. And the one thing that has drawn him away from paying attention to the ewes is when I put food out. He's a guy, right? So, and I've also noticed that when food gets out, he can get a little belligerent. And speaking of belligerent, I'm still a little bit afraid of this guy. I used to be terrified of him. I would never even get this close to him, but he's really shown that these are his ewes, and as long as I don't mess with his ewes, he's okay with me. That's funny. My next point, I I kid you not, or that my ewes can also be a little bit ornery with each other at times. And I've noticed that my two ewes, there's definitely an alpha and a beta ewe. So this is Demeter looking at us. She is the alpha. She's a little bit bigger. I don't know if she's carrying twins and Diana only has a single. Maybe that's why she's bigger. I don't know. But it's very clear that I have an alpha and a beta ewe. And I'm very curious what that's going to look like when the flock gets bigger. Okay, next thing. I've noticed that these guys have actually gotten quite a bit bigger since they came to me. So the guys that sold them to me estimated the ewes were maybe 85, 90 pounds, and that the ram was 95 or up. It's pretty clear that the ram is bigger than the ewes. And I've really noticed that gap has increased as time has gone on. Okay, next thing is salt. So sheep need salt. They need salt because most pasture in America is deficient in tons of minerals. And the salt, specifically salt enhanced with selenium, is going to really help them out. So what I thought was really interesting is that they eat the salt and they just like chow it, like they crunch on that salt. They just go for it. And I thought that was really interesting. So here's the setup right here. You've got the salt on the left, and then this is some kelp on the right. I'm just going to move some of this bedding straw out of the way. They go for the salt way more than the kelp, which is strange, right? Because kelp is green, and they eat a lot of green stuff. So I thought that was really interesting, but they just chow on the salt. They love it. Last thing to bring up with these sheep that I've learned in the past 30 days. Maybe the most frustrating thing is they would rather sleep outside in the snow than in this barn that I built for them the past month. This barn used to just be kind of like a garage / tool shed before we moved in. And so basically all we did was wall it up, which you can see the walls kind of suck. I'm not very good at this, but I did everything I could to make this place good for the sheep. Installed a heat lamp. Like this is where the manger is. This is where the water is. I should probably fill up that water today. But they would rather sleep outside in the snow. Kind of irks me because it's cost a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of swear words from not doing a good job. So, and they would just rather sit in the snow. The guys that sold me the sheep said, yeah, when it gets to be like 20 degrees, then maybe they'll come in. We've had nights in the teens, and I will like pin them up in here, and they just like look at me like, dude, we're fine. Like just let us out, and I'll let them out, and they just go. They're gone, and I'll leave the heater on at night, and whatever. Like they don't sleep here, so I'm happy that they are resilient. But I'd rather them sleep in here. When the ewes get closer to lambing, you better believe they'll be in here. All right, so that's it. Those are some of the things I've learned in the past 30 days. If you liked this video, or even like halfway liked the video, this is my first one, so I'm going to be doing more, and I promise they're only going to get better. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, please like the video, and I look forward to doing more of these.